Pastors and leaders, in this video, we're going to talk about how to create a leader community for your church. Now, we're talking about using the resources at pursuegod.org and really trying to create a mentoring culture, a discipleship culture throughout your church. It's going to take some time, and it's also going to take a little bit of organization and using some simple online tools. We're going to show you how to use Google Plus communities as a real simple tool to create a discussion forum. But really, first we have to talk about why. Why would you even want to create a leader community online? Well, leading a mentoring culture is all about information flow. So your online leader community will give you the forum to empower the right conversations throughout your organization. So for example, you're using these resources. Let's say that you're using the ministry tools link and you're spending some time with your kids church team, with your kids church leader, and all of their leaders, and you're going through this kids church page and you're covering these conversations. Well, there's a ton of conversations in there, right? I mean, there's a lot of stuff to share. There's a lot of new content all the time. Let's say that you want to talk about some leadership topics, and there's some great leadership topics, pastors and leaders that you want your whole church, all of your leaders, all of your mentors within your mentoring culture to know about and to be exposed to. So you might want to feature some of these on your leadership community. So again, leading a mentoring culture really is about that information flow. So you creating this online Google Plus community will give you, it's kind of like its own website, and you can feature and post as much content as you want right there. You can customize it yourself. You can add your own comments to it. You can even upload some of your own videos, some of your own discussion questions, some of your own articles on your leader community. But you use the Pursue God resources as a baseline because there really is a lot of great stuff there already for you, for your leadership teams, for your pastoral team and everybody. So let's talk now about how to do this. So if you go to your Google Plus page, if you can get a Google Plus account for free, it's a lot like Facebook. And then go into communities. This is the menu for your Google Plus page. You're going to go into communities and you're going to create a community. Now, what I would recommend is that you create a private community. So I'm going to set one up for Alpine Church, and I'm going to call it Alpine Church Leaders. And I'm going to hide it from searches because I don't want people to find it just by searching Google Plus. But I will, if they get to it from our website, or if we invite people individually into the mentoring leadership community for our church, that's how we want it to work. Because again, we're probably going to share some things on this leadership community that's not public information. So I can put a tagline here, and I'm going to say something like a place to connect for leaders at Alpine Church. Okay, and I can put a photo in there. And what I'm going to use I'm going to call this all campuses. And because we're multi-site, I'm going to go ahead and just add for every campus, I'm going to add categories. So I'm going to say just for Riverdale and just for Layton, and etc. Later on, I'll add some more of those. I can also add some more description about this community here later. I can add some links at the bottom, and I'll do all of that stuff later. But I'm going to go ahead and just click done for now. And then what I've done is I've created a community. Now I can invite individuals to this community and add a comment. So I can say something like, hey guys, join this community. As it's our discussion board for leaders and mentors at Alpine Church. And I would just start with inviting only the people that are going to understand what this is about. So I'm going to go ahead and just invite a couple of my leaders up front, and send that invitation out to those guys, and then they'll be invited to join that community. Now, just a couple of things I want to show you about using this community. So it's pretty simple. It's really worth the time to encourage your leaders, including your pastoral team, to go through the learning curve to understand how to use this, because it really is a simple and powerful tool. Again, I can just share I can share some leadership tips or words of encouragement or reminders about events that are coming up. I can share all that stuff right here. And again, if I'm sort of making it a requirement for my pastoral team and every mentor and leader that we get in, sort of in the game, trained on our mentor training series, and I get them using this tool, it really becomes a powerful tool because we can communicate with one another. Starting with the right from here, you can post polls for your leaders. You can include your own videos or your own links for your leaders. You can categorize them by your post, whether it's for all campuses or for specific campuses if you're a multi-site church. But here's really the beauty of it. Let me go back into the Pursue God site. So let's say that we're going to start by saying, okay, I want to make sure that everyone understands this envisioning a new kind of church. So I'm going to click on this. And so I'm now acting as the pastor of Alpine Church, and I'm going to say, okay, I want all of our leaders to make sure that they're having this conversation. The campus pastors, the lead pastors are having this conversation with their leadership teams, and on down, all the way on down the road. Just anyone who's mentoring, anyone who's leading, I want to make sure that everyone sees this conversation. So I'm going to feature this conversation on our discussion board, on our Google Plus community. So I click on this button right here, and you notice it's going to let me share this. So I'm just going to say, hey, everyone, let's make sure we all have this conversation with our leadership teams. Okay, and so I'm not going to share this publicly. I'm only going to share this one so if I click on here, let me make sure you can see that. I'm only going to share this with my Alpine Church leaders. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to share it with all campuses, okay? I want everyone to see this, and I'm going to click on share. So what happened now, again, this is just one of many leadership or pastoral conversations at pursuegod.org, but this is the one I want to make sure to feature this week for all of my leaders, all of my pastors. I want to make sure we're having this conversation. So when you go back now to this page, you can refresh this page, and you can see this is what it looks like when it shows up here. So this is what this is what the community page looks like. And you'll notice people can click on this and have this conversation, and they can also go in, click on this and add their own comments. So it becomes a place for all of the leaders and pastors to add their own comments. It really becomes, again, what we call a discussion board only for our leaders at Alpine Church. And it becomes a great place to keep everyone in the loop, encourage the right conversations to be had, allow people to give feedback, allow some of the pastors and leaders to truly lead. And really, even it becomes a place, if you find it to be useful for this, it becomes a place where all of your mentors, all of your qualified mentors at your church can begin making handoffs and saying, hey, I just met someone at church who needs a mentor. Is anyone available to help this person out? It becomes a real simple place, a simple forum just for your qualified mentors and leaders at your church using the Pursue God resources to create a discipleship culture. So I encourage you to check that out. Consider creating a leader community for your church online at Google+.